Paper, Genshin Impact might not seem all that appealing, a free-to-play gacha Breath of the Wild clone. Many might dismiss it entirely because of these labels, many might perpetuate these to others, but to think of Genshin Impact just as a gacha clone is doing both it and yourselves a great disservice. And I'll just come out and say that it's a fun and frenetic action-adventure RPG that's become one of my favorites of this year. To start this review, let's attack those labels: gacha game and Breath of the Wild clone. A place where Genshin Impact sets itself apart from other gacha games is by having gameplay be the primary appeal. The griminess of the gacha genre isn't there, and it feels like you're playing a AAA action-adventure first and foremost. It's not hard to see the depth that has gone into this gameplay loop, which encourages you to keep playing. That being said, the gacha systems are here, and even though they aren't necessary to experience the entire game, they often don't play fair. The system consists of allowing players to acquire weapons and characters. The weapons are the fodder you really don't care about and will be the primary bulk of your pulls. Out of a temple, you're lucky to get one character. The great free-to-play characters make it easy to not even think about this, though it is worth mentioning that if you want to acquire a 5-star rare character, your odds are very low. When Genshin Impact is brought up, one of the first things you'll hear is that it is a Breath of the Wild clone, but I really feel like this label does a great disservice to what Genshin Impact is. There are absolutely components inspired by Breath of the Wild, but there's enough changes that it makes Genshin Impact feel thoroughly like its own unique game. The primary difference to me is philosophy. Breath of the Wild was all about creativity enabling you to do whatever you wanted. Inherently, the game was about crafting your own adventure, exploring and cultivating your own experience. Genshin Impact, on the other hand, feels a lot more like a traditional action RPG and less of a logical extreme adventure game. It definitely has the same liberating feeling of exploring a large open world, but the focus tends to be more on combat. During gameplay, your team comprises of 4 party members, each with an elemental attribute and weapon. Certain elements mixes with others to have various different effects, and combining them is the primary way to be effective during exploration and encounters. Also, as elements are the focus, so long as you know what you are doing, you don't really need to be super precise with your controller inputs, which enables the mobile versions to be fairly playable. There's a lot to discover as you make your way through this adventure. However, there's little to no pressure to do everything immediately because there's always more to do. After I got through the honeymoon period of playing through hours at the opening, Genshin Impact has become a chill-out game where I just play an hour or two each day, with new adventures to be found every time I play. Depending on the way you play Genshin Impact, it can drag. The beginning was the worst for me as it threw story at you and encouraged you to grind your adventure level, which if you do, I feel like this is where you'll have the least amount of fun with the game. There's little to no pressure to explore everything and grind levels immediately, because there's always more to do. For me, exploring the map and getting to know the unique world of Teyvat was the highlight of the game. Teyvat has lots of things to do and lots of things to see, plenty of iconic landmarks and random things to stumble across. Having the ability to look at your map, set a random destination, and just explore is incredibly liberating, and when it's combined with throwing moment-to-moment combat, you're experiencing what the best of Genshin Impact has to offer. While the story isn't particularly amazing and doesn't offer a super deep character narratives, it was solid and the cast is fun. The characters are all fairly entertaining with unique fun personalities, and the story engages with interesting themes around the world, about the people and relations with the places they live, and it even has some political story beats. Sure, the story isn't the appeal and is rather predictable, but is handled well and was enough to keep me interested. Genshin Impact absolutely nails its presentation, both visuals and sound. The soundtrack is subdued but offers enough notable tracks for the adventure. Both voices that I tried, Japanese and English, were pretty great, and it made it tough to choose what I wanted to use. Genshin Impact has great design. You can see this in the UI, and you can see this throughout the world. To put it in simpler terms, this game is beautiful. While some might not like the anime aesthetic, there's no doubt that this game looks beautiful and is begging to be explored. During my time with Genshin Impact, after only a few hours, my thoughts on the labels of this game melted away as this game evolved into a truly unique experience. There's a surprising amount of detail that went into crafting this beautiful world, and you can't help but want to see every inch of it. Although there's points in the game that might not be super interesting, and the gacha systems are present, this is a game I will gladly return to again and again and play with a smile on my face. And don't forget, all of this available for free. Ignore gacha, ignore Breath of the Wild clone. Genshin Impact is just a great game you should play. Noisy Pixel gives Genshin Impact a 9 out of 10. Thanks for watching. This has been Noisy Pixel signing off. If you're interested in more information about this game, or just more about this review, as there's a lot more on the written version, please check out the Noisy Pixel website where we have other news and the written review. If you're interested in more content like this, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be notified about our future content, and have a great day.